Hey everybody, this is going to be a video about the Hillside Strangler victims. I looked all over YouTube. There's no videos with graveside visits anywhere. So I want to do something to bring some honor and memory to the victims. In fact, I'm going to head out to Southern California here in just a few minutes and fight that traffic and get around to the different memorial parks and find several of these victims. I think I know where 6 are. The Hillside Stranglers were actually 2 cousins, Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Bono. They would kidnap, rape, torture, and murder 10 women ranging from age 12 to 28 early October through late November 1977. I was fresh out of high school. I remember this case very well. So after they would kill them, they would dump the bodies around Southern California along the hillsides. This is how they got the name, the Hillside Stranglers. Angelo Bono owned an upholstery shop, and I think I'll try to find it at 703 Colorado. It's in Glendale, California. So see if we can drive by and get some video of what it looks like today. So what they would do, Kenneth Bianchi was trying to become a reserve police officer for LA County. Somehow he got his hands on a badge. They would approach these young ladies as though they're undercover police officers and need to be taken in for questioning. Their car also looked like an undercover police officer. Before the case was cracked, the police department thought there was a bad cop doing all of this, but it turns out to be these 2 guys. I just got a call from Chapel of the Pines, Kimberly from the front office, telling me that Debbie Miller was cremated and her ashes scattered at sea by her mother Doris. So it looks like we'll probably end up visiting 5 graves, looks like. Okay, I'll be there in about 5 hours. You'll be there right now. Found our first grave location. Also turns out to be the first known victim of the Hillside Stranglers, Yolanda Washington. She was a known prostitute. They found her on a hillside close to Griffith Park. They believe she died October 18th, 1977. Bianchi and Bono started out with prostitutes because they felt they were easier prey. We came in the main entrance. We're at Inglewood Park Cemetery. There's lots of celebrities buried here. Johnny Cochran, Robert Kardashian, Doc Ellis, and some other Major League Baseball players and famous actors and such. But now we're at the grave of Lorree. She came pretty close to being a victim of the Hillside Stranglers. So what happens is they approached her and asked her for her ID, and they also saw a picture of her on her father's lap. Her father is Peter Lorree, a famous actor. It turns out that the Hillside Stranglers were a fan of his movies, so they decided to let her go. Plus, they didn't want the negative press that would come with her abduction, rape, and murder. She had a sad life, actually. She was a juvenile diabetic. Her father, Peter, dies when she's 11. A little bit later, her mother dies, so she's on her own from age 17 on. Looks like she dies young, too. Marries Alan Baker. Okay, so let's go on down the road and see who else we can find. We're now in Montebello, California, about 45-minute drive with the traffic. Our next victim is at this cemetery. Up on the hill, up towards the statue, we'll find Sonja Johnson. Yeah, sure enough, straight at the top of this hill, one of the easiest ones I've ever found, Sonya Johnson. She's a friend of Dolly Cepeda, who we'll go and find next, hopefully before the sun goes down. Sonya and Dolly were abducted by these sick animals for 7 days, raping, torturing, and ended up murdering them, leaving them on a hillside close to Dodger Stadium. Sonya and Dolly were out shopping at Eagle Rock a shopping center. We'll try to find that location as well. Sonya was a junior high student in Pasadena, California, only 14 years old. Made our way over to Cypress, California, Forest Lawn Cemetery. This is where Dolly Cepeda is buried, so we'll go inside here and see if we can find her. Next to the statue of David, if you come up this direction, we'll find the youngest victim and a friend of Sonja Johnson, Dolly Cepeda. She was only 12 years old when she was abducted, raped, and murdered. This is the Eagle Plaza Shopping Center. Sonja Johnson and Dolly Cepeda were shopping the day they were abducted. What happens is they went out here and caught a bus, went down the road, but this is the shopping center that Bianchi and Bono recognized them from, or spotted them, and they followed the bus, saw them get off. Witnesses say that the two young girls were called over to what looked like an undercover police car, and they got in. So evidently they flashed badges, fake badges, and they got in the car, and then they eventually took them down. This is Colorado right here. They took them down to Colorado to Bono's upholstery shop, which is about 1.5 miles down this direction. So let's go over there next and see what it looks like today. Well, this is where all the evil took place. Back in the day, there's a house that's set right here on this part of the parking lot. And where it says A to Z, that was the original upholstery shop. On the left has been added on. So they would bring the victims here that they abducted and rape them, strangle them, and get rid of the bodies on the hillside. So this is 703 Colorado Street. Happened right here. Today's Sunday, the place is closed. They probably wouldn't let me come in anyway. So okay. I kind of like to go in and look around. Too bad. Now I'm in North Hollywood Pierce Brothers Memorial Park, trying to find Cidy Hudspeth, which has been kind of a challenge. I've been at it for 2 hours looking for her. Usually I'll spend no more than an hour, but I wanted to pay my respects and spend some extra time. So what I ended up doing was calling the front office. A nice lady, Miss Lopez, came out and we looked around. We're right next to Burbank Airport. So Miss Lopez came out and helped me look around, and as it turns out, she's right here in an unmarked grave. The picture that I'm going to bring up now was her original headstone at a different location. We just don't know where. This is what Miss Lopez shared with me. She allowed me to take a picture of the dates and when all this happened. So that's where we're at, unmarked grave. The story is Cindy went to Angelo Bono's upholstery shop to have some work done on her orange Datsun. He abducts her, holds her, abuses her, murders her. The cousins, Bono and Bianchi, put her in the trunk of her own car, drive her out on a freeway and shove the car over a hillside. The next day they find her in the trunk, ligature marks, everything traced back to the Hillside Stranglers. Sad story, sad. Well, maybe one day she'll have a headstone. If I was a quadrillionaire, I'd buy her one.